In this video, I'm going to go over my top 3 trading indicators that I recommend that you use if you want to make a lot of money in the stock market. It's the same type of indicators that Deborah used in her journey, the same that Sewell uses in his journey, and all the other TGE Max members. And before I get to that, what I want to do is go over some announcements before I show you my indicators, which actually kind of all ties up together. It all comes in a full circle here. So few hours ago, about a day ago, I put out an update saying that I'm gonna open up Gextron. I talk about Gextron a lot. Gextron is the tool that has all the tooling that we use to make money in the stock market. It helps us find entries, stops, exits, and then also just to kind of see if certain support and resistance levels are being supported. And I made an announcement saying that I'm going to open it up for free. It's not fully public, it's based on invitation only. So if you're interested and you want to get access to Gextron and get a chance to get into Gextron free plan, join this community, join the school community, which I'll put a link in the description. That way you can see when the next batch is. I'm going to be doing it in batches. The first batch was 10. That got eaten up very quickly. And so now I'm just going to be doing the next one here in a week or two, and I'll probably be doing 20 instead of 10. The thing with the free plan, just so you know what you're going to get into, is that you're going to get scopes, like symbol scopes of QQQ, SPY, and IWM. You're going to get support and resistance levels, price targets, unusual option tracking, and 100 lookups per month, and email support, of course. So that's that. That's the only announcement I want to make about this. And if you're interested in joining, again, just join the community. I will be doing it is a free community. It doesn't cost anything. And I will be doing a Gextron demo here today. So if you're watching this video on September 3rd, get in today before 9 p.m. Eastern time. It's open to everyone. I'm just going to show you how to use Gextron, how to mark your levels, like step-by-step process. All right. Now that got out of the way, let's talk about my favorite tooling. And I'm going to show you a live example here with SPY, actually. SPY is a trade that we're currently trading, and we like it a lot for some upside potential, okay? But here is tool number 1, okay? So this Gextron has all the indicators that I use to make money in the stock market, okay? So the first thing I want to go over is the daily levels. Okay, this tooling right here for Gextron helps me pinpoint entries and support and resistance levels. So if price is going to go to a specific level, it's going to let me know it's going to be a resistance or support, and where are optimal entries to get into a trade, whether it's for a call position or a short position, whatever it is that you want to take for that day, right? It's going to let you know. And so, for example, if we take a look at this chart right here, it's really, really simple. This chart right here tells you, gives you positive bars and negative bars. And at the moment, the chart for SPY actually looks very, very clean. Sometimes it can get messy. Sometimes you're going to see things like negative bar, positive bar, negative bar. When you see clusters like that are in opposite directions, those are good signs for me that I want to avoid that trade. I don't want to get into SPY at the moment because the levels are being pulled in different directions, and it could just ping pong around. We call that the drunken sailor zone. But as of right now, you can see it's a very clean transition because it goes from negative to positive just right off the bat. All the bars to the right are positive, all the bars to the left are negative, except this little one right here. But nonetheless, this tooling right here, this trading tool in Gextron, helps me figure out entries, which is really important because a lot of the time traders don't know when to enter properly. You don't want to enter in a zone that isn't biased to the upside, or you don't want to go short if it's not really ready for like the downside, right? And so the way I figured that out with Gextron is super simple. It's the first positive bar. Let's say I want to go long in a position like Apple. I'm not Apple, sorry, SPY. The first positive bar and the next 3 bars to the right have to be positive. That first positive bar is P trans level. That's just the way we call it inside the Telegram group. It's just short for positive transition. And it's the opposite for shorts. If I want to go short, all I have to do is I have to wait for price action to get below the first negative bar, okay? And I have to make sure that the next three bars to the left of this chart are negative. So in this case, that's entrance level, right? That first negative bar. If I take a look at this current, and this is live data, this is always happening. And the reason this tool is so powerful with Gextron is because, as you can see here, it's taking every single transaction that's happening and it's recomputing the levels. So it's never static. That's the important part about this tooling. It's never static. It will update as the transactions are coming in, and Gextron will update and make sure it gives you the most accurate levels. And of course, the taller the bars, the bigger the resistance or the bigger the support is. Now, figuring out entries, P-trends. So 643 is, in this case, as of right now, September 3rd, 1:32 p.m. 643 is P-trans level because it's the first positive bar and the next three are positive bars. Now you can see here, if we just scope out a little bit, we zoom out, it's kind of one of the tallest bars that there is, right? So it's going to be a very big resistance area, okay? And that's okay. But this is just letting me know that SPY to get above into a bullish position or bullish area is going to be very, very difficult. So 643 is actually a really, really important level. It has to get above it. And right now, if we take a look at this, I haven't updated these levels since the morning. Okay. You can see here, it's been struggling to get above 643 as of right here, right? What happened to this? Let me see what's going on with this. I don't even know what happened here. Anyways, you can see here that like it's struggling to get in here. Let me see if I can refresh trading view here because it's kind of wonky looking right now. I don't have my toolings. Okay. Cool. All right, there we go. So you can see here ever since open September 3rd, it's been struggling here because it's the biggest level of resistance. And this has not changed since this morning. And this is constantly computing. So it's still letting me know, hey, this is where bullish sentiment starts. But if we can't hold above this level, it's going to be hard to get bullish on it yet, right? Now, in the case of a short transition, like if I want a short SPY, I have to make sure that again it's this 642.5 area because the next three bars to the left are negative, right? So 1, 2, 3. 642.5 is entrance, and again, it's just short for negative transition. And you can see here that as long as we've stayed below it on this hourly time frame, it's more than likely going to go down. Okay, now these P trans and N trans level mark my entries for my position. It gives me a bias. Are we going to be in the negative zone or in the positive zone? Again, sometimes you'll see the Gextron will tell you, hey, like it's a weird zone if it's like positive bar, negative bar, positive. You want to avoid that. You want a clear transition. My rule of thumb again is just 3 to the left. All right. Well, let's say 4 negative bars to the left. That first negative bar is N-trans. 4 positive bars to the right. That first positive bar is P-trans. Okay. Now, about this tooling as well too, another pro is that it tells you the levels. We call it areas of interest because they can be either support or resistance. It doesn't always have to be just one or the other. It depends on where price is going towards. So like in the case of SPY, since we were heading towards this 643 P trans and it's the tallest positive bar, it's going to be a big resistance area. It's the biggest resistance area. So in this case, if price is going towards it, it's been resistance. If price gets above 643, the next level of area of interest is going to be 650, and that can pose as a level of resistance as well too. Okay, so any tall bar, whether positive or negative, it can be support or resistance. If we were to go down all the way to 635, it's possible that price can be that area can be a level of support. And if we just take a look at this before, this data, I haven't changed my lines except P trans and N trans level since yesterday. this tall bar, negative bar, has been the biggest level of support as since yesterday. And we can see here, if we look at the price action, we tapped into literally 635. I can't make this up. This is live yesterday, Tuesday, September 2nd. We literally touched it. We went a little bit below it and we bounced. A ridiculous bounce, right? This is about 7 points up, almost as high as what? 6 or 7 points, right? 7 or 8 points. That is a strong level of support. Reason for it is because this was the tallest negative bar, and so this just told me if we get below here, and I let my team know that yesterday too, which we can just point it out here. This was September 2nd. You can see the date there. Um, what time was this? I don't know what time I said this. Oh, 2:31. Okay. So yeah, so as long as we stay above this level, above that positive tall negative bar, I mean, it's going to be a huge level of support, and that was the case. But it doesn't get us out of the woodwork yet, right? Because you have to take into consideration, oh, we're still below entrance level, so we can still be in a negative area. It could come back down, retest, something can happen. Okay. That's tooling number one, which is this daily levels that it's in Gextron. The next thing that we want to figure out as well too are price targets, because the worst thing about price targets, anytime you enter a trade, you have price targets in mind already. But the big question is like when, right? When can we see this target? And most traders, and if you're anything like this, which you'll need to pay attention to this, if you're anything like this, you're going to look to the left. You're going to try and find some old stale level that you think that's price action, that's going to be a price target because that's what historical data said, right? Because you're looking to the left. But this doesn't take into consideration implied volatility, the market, like what's the market actually anticipating? And Gextron does do that, which is a wonderful thing, because with that and expiration dates, we can combine that together and give you what is a powerful, price range by a certain expiration date based on implied volatility and expiration and all that good stuff. So in here in this chart, I show you 652.96, very specific levels. They're very, very specific. Like there is nothing here that says 652.96, right? I don't think there is. Let's take a look at this real quick. Anything else? No. Very, very specific, right? And so, and again, that's just Gacchon doing his calculations. So it's telling me here, I marked it right here. I said I like to call it WEM line at the bottom. All this tells me is that the weekly expected price targets are these ranges that I mark here, 652.96, and you can see here at the bottom is 637.06. And the way I do that is I go to the price target tab, which is my next trading tool that I use. And I like to look for the Friday expiration, and it gives me a range, right? And you can see here it says range, top, bottom. Gextron is forecasting future price target from the current price that it's currently at based on the option pricing, which it's a complicated model, but once it's done well, like Gextron does it, like you don't have to think about it. All you have to do is just copy the value and then paste it here. And what Gextron told us is that, hey, it's possible that by the end of the week, and this was marked on Friday, end of Friday, we can potentially see 652.96. And last week, it also told us we can potentially see 637.06 as the weekly bottom, which you can see here. We already tapped into that, which is 637.06. We did go a little bit below it. If it goes anything above it or below it, that is just supply and demand. That's just the power of supply and demand at that point. But you can see here, we tapped into this area, the 635 as well too, and that just kind of helped catapult SPY back into this mid-range, pretty much where we originally opened flat, right? And so Now we are around the zone. And I also have this for the DEM line. Same thing. It's just the daily expected price targets, which all I do is just go to price and I look for the expiration, which 0 DTE, in that. So this is really important because, again, this is also dynamic. It's never stale. It's always taking into consideration theta and all the option premium pricing. That way, as time is getting closer, you're never going to have the same expansion that is possible for the end of the day, right? As time gets closer to the end of the day, as it's about to finish, that expansion of price movement is going to shrink and shrink. And so it's always giving you up to date and telling you how much left there is in today's expansion or by a specific date, right? So that way you're not always guessing. You're not always like, hey, are we going to hit this level? Well, we'll just take a look at price target. Maybe earlier today, average price was $2.65 change. Now it's telling me, hey, that's no longer the case for SPY. It only has about $1.65 left to the upside and to the downside based on the current price of SPY, right? So very, very powerful tools because it's all forecasting, it's all forward looking, and it's forecasting what is the strongest level of support and resistance. When does it become bullish entry or a bearish entry, right? And it's also telling you, it's forecasting price targets by a specific expiration. And all you have to do is just copy the values and plot them into your charting tool, which is so easy. It makes trading so much easier. Now, my final, that's two trading tools that I love to use, which are all in Gextron platform. And again, if you want access to this type of analytics and just forward-looking powerful tools, just go to the community, wait for the next announcement that I'm going to release the free plan for the invitations, and then just comment in there. I'll let you know what to do. All right, the next thing that I like to look at here, which is a really powerful tool, is the unusual options, and also pretty much all of this, which is the equity tape, the option tape, and the unusual options, but specifically the unusual options and the equity tape. What I would like to do with the unusual options is just filter out the noise. You can see here, if I show you this here, I have it filtered out. I'm just kind of filtering out short dated, over $10,000 premiums. But if I remove this, it might get a little bit crazy. You can see here, it is an insane amount of transactions. Sometimes you'll see like $8 transactions, $5 transactions, probably some sort of gambler out there. But the unusual options here just kind of filters that noise out, and this is like, hey, this is the current, these are big orders, and these are orders that can have an effect on this given security. And it shows you here, like, whether it's highlighted green with a background green or a red background, saying how aggressive the sentiment is. It's bullish, very aggressive bullishness, very aggressive bearishness. If you see just white text, it's kind of just neutral. If you see red text, it's bearish sentiment. If you see green text, it's a bullish sentiment. But it shows you the different strengths of of the sentiment, which is really powerful, because essentially what you want to see here is that when we do tap into these big areas of interest, you want to see if, when price reaches that, is the unusual option tape and the equity tape showing that type of aggressiveness that we want to see. So if we're going all the way to 635 again, if that does happen, are we going to see this type of aggressive buying, this 600, right? Are we going to see that type of aggressive buying to show that this is support, or are we going to see more selling, or is it going to be kind of just being idle? And you can see here right now, this is, again, really powerful tool, right? This is literally live. I have not changed anything here, right? You can see here, we're about to tap into the daily expected bottom, okay? Which is going to be the 640 area. You don't have to think of it as a hard spot, but just think of it as an area. We're going to see what happens here. And you can see here that the price target for the week, we weren't able to hold the N trans level. We weren't able to hold above P trans level. We got rejected, and now it's coming back to this daily expected price target, right? And so you can see, it would be interesting to see what happens here in the next hour. It's 1:46 p.m. Eastern time, so I'm definitely going to keep an eye out on this and see. You'll see this has a really good hit rate, and is really accurate. And these are the tools that I use to help me make a trade decision. So if I wanted to go bearish, I would say, okay, we're holding underneath entrance level. I will take it for the daily expected price target at the bottom. And if we are above P trends, then I will take it for the daily top price target. It's just that simple. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. And that's exactly what Gacktron tries to aim to do. It's just you want to, when you're trading, it's like a sport, right? You have to be in the zone. You have to focus on execution. You don't have time to figure out calculations and then remapping levels and figuring out this and going through different time frames. There's no time for that, right? And besides that, that stuff is archaic and it's always looking in the past. Like nobody cares. The market doesn't care about, it doesn't care about like last week's news. It's over. We only care about what's going to happen from right now until tomorrow or the next couple months, right? And so that's what Gestron is really good at. Forecasting future price, future entries, future support and resistance levels, future price targets. And once you have that, all you have to do is just be patient, right? When we're above P trends, you go long. When we're below N trends, you go short. If you go long above P trends and it doesn't hold, you get out. Super simple. It keeps the number one factor that I always say about trading, your risk versus reward ratio, very, very high. Okay. So in this example, I'll even show you right here, right now, right? If I was to get into a position here for a long position, let's say it was holding P transfer, whatever. And then I said, okay, I'm only willing to lose from here. Let's say price is right here. If price fell down, I'm only willing to risk here about 0.10% of a movement, which is about 62 cents, right? If we lose P trends, I'm stopped out. But if it does hit our price target, which is the daily top price target that Gestron provides again, this now trade becomes almost a risk reward ratio of 2.95, right? Almost 3, which is awesome. Okay, that's a really good risk reward ratio. Minimum in my case, I like to look for 3s. That's why I look for weekly price targets or monthly price targets or quarterly price targets because I'm aiming for a much bigger move. But if your thing is day trading, you can do this too, right? Or just wait to be a little bit more precise. Now, that's the worst case scenario. Now, best case, you can see here, price it go practically down. And we're, again, I can't make this up. We're literally watching it in real time right now, right? Let's say price was this. It's like I'm willing to just lose no more than entrance level. And I'm going to go for the daily expected price target at the bottom. This is a risk reward ratio of 11.5, right? You keep your winners, your losers small and your winners really big, and that is how you win, right? That is it. That is what Gextron aims to do. It doesn't get easier than that. And you can see here, we again, there's still a couple hours in the day, but we practically hit it. Gextron was right. Gextron did it again. As long as we're below entrance, you can aim for the daily expected price target to the bottom. If you're above P trends, aim for the price target to the top. It's that simple. It doesn't get any harder than that. If you're interested in trying this out, I'll join the school community. Okay, it costs you nothing. I'm going to do a class today, a demo tour, and then just wait for the next announcement, and then I'll work on getting you guys in here. All right, talk to you guys on the next one.